thus far like a typical philosopher. I've been trying to explain what Zen and Buddhism is.
There's a really inspired person inside of my head, but he writes all of his sentences in the sand, and before you can write them down and get them out, the waves crash and they all disappear. Hey, I'm Henry Robinson. I'm also known as Cruel Buddhist. I'm a beat maker and musician. I would say producer, but I like to try and keep it live. I'm 30 years old. I live now in Shanghai, China, but I'm from Neenah, Wisconsin. When I first came to China, it was about 10 years ago, and I was a student, and so I actually did some studies on Buddhism and thought that it would be kind of interesting to travel to China and check out Buddhism in China. I'm called Cruel Buddhist originally because I think that the main idea in Buddhism is compassion, which is something I try and live my life by. But I also think that compassion and kindness are not the same thing. To me, the most important idea in Zen Buddhism is this concept of wabi-sabi, this idea that things that are broken and bent and warped and that don't necessarily fit are actually more valuable. Absolutely, I incorporate the ideas from Buddhism into my music. The main way that I do that is through improvisation. To me, improvisation and spontaneity are the most important things to embrace in life. I had struggles in my life. I have difficulty, with paying attention to things, for example. I have ADHD. I'm not very good at sitting still. I haven't found very many things in my life that I can pay attention to that keeps me occupied for more than 5 or 6 minutes. Music, though, for the first time in my life, I found something. Well, for the second time after skateboarding, I found something that I was passionate enough that I could spend 5 hours doing, and I wouldn't ever get bored. And I think it's the same mentality that Zen Buddhism talks about, which is instead of trying to go up on stage and recreate what I've practiced at home, in that whole time, if I'm focused on trying to recapture something that I did before, I'm not being present in the moment. And the reason that it was good when I made it in the first place is because I was being present. I was just there. I wasn't thinking about what it was supposed to be or what it was in the past. I was just being in the moment of pure creation. To me, that ideology, it comes through in Zen Buddhism. Instead, when I'm on stage of trying to recreate what happened in the past, I focus on being in the moment and then create anew. I have all these flashes of inspiration, but I can never get them out necessarily in time. So it's been much more important for me in my life to be able to improvise. And so my music, while it has a form and has the same sort of chord structures and same sort of general vibe and beat that goes through it, every time that I perform a song, I perform it in a new way. What I learned to do, I had to learn to do by necessity, is to find out how to just be in the moment, where I inevitably am, because I can't maybe pay attention to what somebody said just a second ago. I have to be in the moment, I have to grab on, and I have to be able to improvise and thrive. Now I'm at a point where I am working more and more to make those worlds that I create, that meditation that I go into of not being in anywhere else but in that moment and in those sounds. I'm working more and more to make that what I get to do all the time.